Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 73, Italian on Valium. It's your game week 30 review, and you know you're in the title running when we enter the game week 30s. And three managers went into the transfer market this week, at least two of them playing Oiti's mind tactical gambits to allow them to purchase a player even though that player already belonged to another family fantasy football league team, and it's shaping up to be one of the closest finishes to the family fantasy football league season. This titanic battle between three times champions Hatch United and never won it before No Happy Endings goes on. No Happy Endings retaking the lead from Hatch United this week. They've been chopping and changing all season long as they slug it out. And while they're busy slugging it out with each other, debut manager Better Than the Diamonds just edges closer and closer to them for a late charge. And, believe it or not, at this stage, we can't rule out fourth place Benny United. Hasn't won the Family Fantasy Football League for a quarter of a century, but he is in the mix. But to be honest with you, you could go down lower than that to say that people are still in the mix, because there are a huge amount of bonus points on offer at the end of the season. Leicester City still in the Europa Conference Cup. If their players make it to the final, their points in that final will be quadrupled. West Ham still in the Europa League. If they make it to the final of that competition, you'll times the points that the players earn in that final by 5 points. And both Liverpool and Manchester City on course to meet in the Champions League final. And if they both meet in that final, or if they make that final, either one of them or both of them, those players will have their points times by 6 in that final. And we've got treble points on offer for the FA Cup finalists. We know Liverpool are there, and either going to be Chelsea or Crystal Palace alongside them. So huge amount of points still to be earned. And you've also got the bonus points for high scoring goalkeeper, high scoring defender, high scoring midfielder, high scoring attacker, and the high scoring player overall. So still plenty to play for. Anyway, in game episode 73, we have your game week 30 winners and losers, 4 winners, 4 losers, lost in translation, and a manager of the season update. So let's start with your game week 30 winners. Take a bow. Linden's Lovely's manager Joe Hoxby stayed 17th in the table, but just did register a personal highest weekly total. A manager of the season point for Joe. Take a bow also. Clockhouse Rangers manager great Uncle George Moody, the biggest climbers this week, up 2 places to 14th. With another personal highest weekly total for George. He hasn't been as high as 14th since game week 25. Take a bow also. Napoli manager Lee Poulter. He climbed another place up to 8th in the table. Lee has not been as high as 8th in the Family Fantasy Football League since way back on the 17th of September 2020. But your biggest game week 30 winner, take a bow, No Happy Endings manager Di Maloney, as I said, climbed 1 back to the top of the Family Fantasy Football League table. She registered a personal highest weekly total, and what a highest weekly total it was, 105 points, the second highest weekly score we've had this season. And that was enough to earn Di another weekly win, her 5th weekly win of the season, which puts Di in pole position for that prize money for the most weekly wins in a season. So they are your game week 30 winners. Here are your game week 30 losers. Hide your head in shame. Defending champion Alexi Lagos, Greece Lightning, fell 1 place to 9th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. Alexei has not been as low as 9th in the league since the 30th of January 2020. Hide your head in shame. Also, yours truly dropped another place down to 13th, the lowest I've been since game week 19. And hide your head in shame. Ted and Sam Junior's manager Ian Sands, he dropped a place this week down to 19th. Ian has been in the Family Fantasy Football League for, well, longer, over 10 years, over 10 seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. He has never, ever before been as low as 19th in the table. It is a season to forget for Mr. Sands. And your customary hide your head in shame nod goes to bottom of the table, AFC Razor Ray Poulter, who were, as usual, the lowest scorers this week and are more than 200 points cut adrift at the bottom of the Family Fantasy Football League table. So where any of those guys had points, had manager of the season points, then they lose one for being a game week 30 loser. Now, lost in translation. There is a picture of, on the left, of Greece Lightning manager Alexi Lagos with, on the right, Luck Where's the K Williams. Luck Where's the K Williams has got nothing to do with this next segment. I just thought the photo was hilarious, so included it. But no, this is all about Alexi Lagos, who's, you know, as I just mentioned, is having a pretty bad week, dropping to 9th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. The chances of him retaining his championship is diminishing all the time. But Alexi is currently holidaying in Bali at the moment with girlfriend Megan. And Alexi approached Megan the other day and he said to her, do you know what, since we've come to Bali, everyone keeps mistaking me for an Italian. I mean, you can tell by the photo, he looks Italian-esque. And Megan said, really? I haven't noticed that. Why do you think that is? He said, I don't know, but everywhere I go, people keep asking me, am I Italian? Megan went, no, I haven't noticed, but well, I don't know. I can't explain it. So then Megan and Alexi later on were out on a walk. Now, I've never been to Bali, but I'm reliably informed that in Bali, it's quite common for youths, teenagers, to hang around on street corners wearing little bum bags, and in their bum bags they will have let's describe them as low-grade drugs. And they're trying to scrape a living by selling these pills to tourists. And Alexi and Megan were walking down the street, and one of these, they passed one of these gangs, and the lads started saying to them, Xanax, Valium, Xanax, Valium. And, you know, Alexi and Megan politely declined but walked on. And then Alexi said to Megan, see, someone else who thought I was Italian. And Megan said, what do you mean? Why do you think he thought you were Italian? He said, because he asked me if I was Italian. It's happening everywhere I go. Megan said, he didn't ask you if you were Italian. He said, do you want any Xanax or Valium? So there you go. Not so much an Italian stallion, but definitely needing a hearing aid check. That is your lost in translation, and a manager of the season point goes to Joanne Hoxby for providing me with that information. Who the fuck is that? This was your last week's question to try to earn a manager of the season point. 2 managers had a go this week. Hatch United manager Neil Hatch thought that was a picture of Sarah Simons, and that was an incorrect guess. Benny United manager Mark Benwell thought that was a picture of the big knob Simon Hoxby, and that was a correct answer. So a manager of the season point to Mark Benwell for guessing that who the fuck is that was indeed the big knobs manager Simon Hoxby. And all of that means this is the top of the manager of the season table. I slipped to joint 10th for being a game week 30 loser. Joe Hoxby jumps to joint 8th for being a game week 30 winner and for getting a point for providing me that story about Alexi. Lee Poulter and Di Maloney jumped to joint 4th for being game week 30 winners. And Mark Benwell stays 2nd but closed the gap on Megan Hoxby to just 4 points for getting the Who the Fuck Is That. And remember, you might be thinking there's only a few weeks of the season to go. There's no way I'm going to be able to get enough points to contest Manager of the Season. Well, if you took part in the Predictor Challenge at the start of the season, then there's a possible 30 Manager of the Season points up for grabs for everyone who took part in that Predictor Challenge, depending on how many of your predictions turn out to be correct at the end of the season. But in the immediate future, this is your chance to earn Manager of the Season points this week. Who the fuck is that? It is a 3-point answer. There are 3 current Family Fantasy Football League managers pictured there, and if you can tell me which 3 managers are pictured there, you will get 3 Manager of the Season points. You don't get any points if you get 1 or 2 of them correct. You have to identify all 3 managers correctly to get those 3 points. That is it for this week. What episode was it? 73, I think. Just a reminder, the FFFL Presentation Awards takes place on Saturday, the 4th of June at the Stadia of Legends 23 in Braintree, Essex. We will hopefully be back at a normal slot of Friday this week. This one was coming to you a bit late. Apologies for that. Enjoy the rest of your Easter bank holiday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.